Hi, this part of the video is added on after the content you're about to see. To make the little exercise that I did, just open a new blank document, click OK. It'll open as a white layer, or if it's not white, fill it with white, and give yourself, if you lose the padlock here, just click on it, that'll lose the padlock. Give yourself another layer. We'll swap those about. Highlight the layer 2, and what I'm going to do is just fill that with a colour. Let's choose the pink. I hope that's the same pink as in the video. It doesn't matter, it's just to give you enough idea of what I did. And you then want to fill that layer. If you go to edit, fill, and fill it with the foreground colour. That's always the colour that's on the kind of top box here. Fill it with that and click OK. Now you can't see that square at the moment because this one here is on top, the white layer, but there's the layer there, quite garish. And once you've done that, come up here to the selection tools, click the top one, that's a rectangular one, and when you're making the square, if you hold the shift key down, just click and drag a square, and if you're tuning out the edge, hold the spacebar down as well as the shift key, and you'll be able to move that to wherever you want it on your layer. When you're happy you've got it in the right place, let go of the mouse side first, and then you can let the other keys go. So that's the first layer, and we'll fill that with black, say. Click OK, and again, if you go up to the edit menu and down to fill, foreground colour, I'll fill it with that. Next, go back up here, click the second one down, the elliptical marquee tool, left click, and again holding shift down, that'll give you a perfect circle.
A message has been received.
To deselect the first square, just press Ctrl and D, that will deselect that one. Now you've got the elliptical marquee tool selected, it's alright. Hold down the shift key and that'll let you select a perfect circle. And again, if you want to position it anywhere, keep the shift key down, the mouse click down, and put your thumb onto the spacebar. And you see where I get that pink line? That's telling me it's exactly in the middle of the page, the layer, sorry. Unhold my mouse and fine, we're there. Again, edit, fill, foreground colour, that's black, and to deselect it, get rid of the marching ants round about it, hold the control key down and tap the letter D. So there you go, that's how you get your two shapes, and when we punch a hole in these shapes you'll see the pink through it. Okay. Hey, Derek here. Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel. In the last video I made, it was all about selection tools and how good or bad they are. I think they're probably one of the most important kind of parts of Photoshop. One of the tools I mentioned but not really touched on is this one here. It's a pen tool, and if you want to take this figurine and the box out of this image and put it into a new background, if we were cataloguing this and we wanted to just, there's easy ways to do it. We could just select the black using the color range tool, and we could select the black, or alternatively we could select this color down here, and there is various ways to do it. That's a quite easy way. But sometimes you've got to have a fussy background. It might be you're trying to cut a person out of a background in the street that you want to put them in somewhere a bit better to improve that image. And the best tool by far to do this is the pen tool. But it's also one of the most frustrating tools to learn. I'll make this image a bit bigger. Essentially, when you can do perfect curves or squares with the pen tool. And essentially what you do is you say this is your first point, this is where I'm going with it, and if you think of the curve here on this circle at the top, if I want to curve the pen to get a similar curve, I press and hold it down onto the surface, and while holding it down, if you see the top node of this line here, the top node, that'll always be, when I'm pulling the thing forward, it's going backward direction, it'll always be at the highest point of my curve or my arch. And if I want to go way up there, make it really severe or really kind of small curve, whatever. And once I've got the curve to a place where I'm happy with it, so say for instance here, if I want to make another curve, let's just say in a total opposite direction, let's just say I want to make a curve this way, because I've left this node here, it would be almost impossible to do it in one further move. So if we did it here, I should be able to make a direct opposite, come back a bit, curve, but I can't. It won't allow me. And what's happened is, because the curve is going to be so severe, the back anchor is trying to dictate where this curve is going. But if I hold the Alt key down, and let's start this again, make the curve here, and we'll just pull up to there, and we're happy with that. While I've still got this all selected, if I hold the Alt key and say, well, my next connection with the surface is going to be over there, that direction, and I then make this curve, I'll have no issues with where I want the kind of arch for that curve to be. The best way by far to do it though is just when you've made your curve, hold Alt key down, go back and click on the middle one, and it'll get rid of that. I can now make a curve over here any shape I want, and we'll just make it roughly about that. So, and then we can turn that into a selection if we wanted to. So there's endless opportunities for making curves, for making squares. You can use it to select lips, eyes, dresses, all sorts of things. But the hardest thing is just learn that you use it. So we're going to do that work path up there, don't need that. Just highlight that, hit the delete key, and that's that way. When you've made a selection, it automatically creates a path, and a path is not to be confused with a shape or anything like that. It's just making a path. So anytime I want to go back and activate that selection, I just go back and click on the path, and we can reactivate that selection. So I'm going to try and make one attempt to go around this circle. It's a perfect circle. To know you've got a perfect circle, if you hold the elliptical marquee tool, if you just drag and drop that over a surface like that, it's going to make ovals or, you know, lots of different shapes. If you want to make sure you get a perfect circle, hold the shift key down, and that's all it will drag is a circle. It won't make anything else. Perfect circle, that's fine. That's what we did to make this shape. So I'm now using the pen tool. I'm going to try and select this shape, and we'll cut them out of this white layer and show the pink layer underneath. So pick a point to start. I'm going to start here right at the 12 o'clock position, and I'm going to start just outside and no more, and then I'll come down to the 3 o'clock position. I'll actually maybe go a bit closer in with that, a little bit closer. And to move a node that you've just made, if you hold the control key down your keyboard, you can then drag that node to wherever you want. So just start at roughly about there, down a little bit. Yeah, I want to be just outside. We're literally moving at a pixel at a time, so it looks like big movements, but it's not. So now I'm going to go around to the 3 o'clock position, and I'm going to click. I'm going to press onto the key surface of my tablet. I'm using a Wacom tablet. Press onto the surface of that, and then where I drag going forward, if you look at the node that's over the shape, wherever the highest part of that arch is going to be, or where I want it, that's as far that way as I'm going to go. and I'm now holding the Alt key down, and that's this bit here. I'm now telling it I'm going to be going right back to the start there, and by putting it away back there it's not going to affect the next selection I make. So the next one is going to be roughly about the 6 o'clock position. Click, oops. If you click twice, just undo it. And when you're using a pen and tablet, it is quite easy to click twice. So again, I'm directing the back node over to the highest part where I think the arch is, where the highest part of the curve is. And you can just, generally it's better to be over on this than under. And I'm just going to hit Control and just pull, holding the Control key down, this middle one, I'm just pulling it out just a little. See, I don't want it to be inside the black if I can help it. Then holding the Alt key down, I'm just going to pull that back into here. And then I go up to the 9 o'clock position. I'm just going to do exactly the same. We'll make sure our trailing node is over the highest part of the circle. And click Alt back into here. And we'll go back up to the start. And again, we're just going to try and complete this circle. Now, it's not going to be a perfect circle, but you'll get the gist. So when we're there, we'll right click and click Make Selection, and we'll get a good idea of just how good or bad this selection is. So we're just going to hit the Delete key and then Control and D to deselect it. And you can see there's tiny little bits here, but all in all it's not a bad selection. If we go back out, you can see there's very little black attached to that. And if there was, we can go back in and alter it. If we use this key here, it's a selection tool. Highlight this again. That's just made these paths now active. And where I've seen just a slight bit of black through, I'm holding the Control key down, go back to this node here, I'm just pulling it out just very, very slightly. And I'll pull that one out slightly, just very slightly. And this one out very slightly. Trying to maintain your curve the whole time. Again, right click and make selection. Click OK, and we've just got to hit delete again. And Control and D will deselect that. And you see there's very little, it's maybe not 100% perfect circle, but it's pretty close. So that's the first one. Now to make a new path, I come over to here at the bottom of my paths dialog box, go over here and click New, and my new path is going to be the square. And the same, we're just going to do the exact same. And whereas we could make perfectly curved selections there, here we're going to make perfectly straight square ones. And I'll go to the corner. We're not bad with that one. And again, just outside the corner, I was trying to stay just outside. You can see there's just a very small amount of daylight there. And we're not seeing any daylight there, so I'm going to hold the Control key down and just move that out just a fraction. And maybe just move that one up here out a fraction. Oops. That's fine. And again, we'll go over to this one. That's fine. And up to here. We'll hold Control, pull that down. And then when it's still out a wee bit too far, so we'll pull it in just a little bit. And that's the beauty, you can adjust and reshape and resize as you go around. And we'll right click, make selection, click OK. And again, we'll just punch a hole in this layer and then hit Control and D. To punch a hole there, all I did was hit the delete key. So there you go, and we've made a hole in that. You can use it to select anything. I've seen people using it to select whole cars or trees or pretty much anything you want to do. So that's the way you get yourself some practice. Use the pen tool And in other videos I'll be using it as I go along. I'll always try and kind of tell you what I'm doing. A couple of times I made a wee mistake and I went and I quickly undone it. I've got a Wacom pen and tablet. Within my pen I have a button, and one button is a right click which does that, and the other button is an undo. I've programmed it to have a keyboard shortcut, which if you make a lot of selections in a pen or anything else, brush, whatever, we'll right click that, make that a selection. Oops, no feather. That's a selection. I think actually I don't want that. Well, I've got it programmed into my pen, but you could use a keyboard shortcut, Control plus Alt plus Z, and that will take you back a step. Every step that you've done, one step at a time. So Control, Alt and Z. The keyboard shortcut for undo. Control and Z will take you one step back, and if you hit Control and Z again, it will take you back forward. Control Alt Z to go back the way. So hope that helps. That's the pen tool in Photoshop.